to Nerdmageddon. Welcome back, everybody. It is Nerdmageddon here at KZLX LP Maryville, and we're hanging out with our good friends over at KNWT's their Facebook page. So thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. I am one of your hosts, Corey Herzog. I'm back, y'all. With me, I have Devin Vinzant.
I don't know what my lower third says this week, but it should say sweatier than he has any right to be.
And Will Linder.
And I also don't know my lower third yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be something that's real creative and spicy and everything nice.
That's because you're a spicy meme.
Or else it better be. Yeah.
All right, guys. We're going to just jump right in with some big news. Ash Ketchum finally won a Pokemon League.
What does this mean? I don't I really am trying to hard to understand.
I don't know if you're aware of the premise of Pokemon as a whole, but Ash Ketchum is a young little lad who is trying to be the best Pokemon trainer of all time, become a Pokemon master, and the way you do that is when you win a Pokemon League. And this 11-year-old, he's been 11 for how many years now? He has finally won a Pokemon League.
Didn't they age him up 1 year? He started out at 10 and now he's 11, and that was 1999.
Yeah.
97.
97, thank you.
Yeah.
99 is Digimon. That's my bad.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. No, Ash has won one Pokemon League before. It was the Orange Islands League, which is non-canon and doesn't appear in any of the games. So they had made a commitment that Ash was not going to win a Pokemon League because that would mean ending the show. So he's won a Pokemon League.
Yes.
Now, I read an article. Somebody submitted an article to Slack, and I think it was me, actually, which is a shame that I haven't read it then. I've read that all of the regions are confirmed for the new Pokemon show, which makes it sound like it's an anthology series rather than focused on one particular thing. And I've seen some YouTube videos from like YouTube critics and speculators that are saying that Ash won't be in Pokemon anymore. So if we put all of these three little news bits together, I'm thinking what's going to happen is they finally decided to retire the character of Ash, and they're going to focus on something a little bit closer to like Pokemon Go or the games or something, and they're just going to start an anthology series where they can do whatever they want from episode to episode.
I think that is so dumb. Just a reminder that all opinions expressed on the show reflect only ourselves. You'll want to remember that later on.
We don't mention it every episode, but every time we say something controversial, we're like, yeah. So.
Because Ash has become, part of the face of Pokemon. He's pretty much synonymous with Pikachu.
Yeah, I don't know, because even I don't really pay attention to Pokemon, but as for trainers, yes, but
yeah,
Pikachu
I'm not
is
saying
the face.
I'm not saying he's face of all Pokemon, but I'm saying that he's a big part of it.
Ash is targeted at a very specific young audience. Pokemon is not for that audience anymore. It's for people of all ages. And Ash is stupid. And he's a lame character. And I think it's good that they're starting to move towards those actual legendary or relatable trainers that they've created for the other mythos besides the series. I'm sick of Ash. I'm sick of this new art style for Sun and Moon. And I'm ready for Pokemon to move into the 2020s. I'm ready for a different... I have enjoyed all of the spin-off animes. I liked the Rescue Rangers stuff. I liked Pokemon Chronicles, which is actually accurate to a certain extent to the games. They did a bunch of non-Ash spin-off stuff, and I've liked all of it. So I'm excited to see where this goes.
See, I love Ash. I think him being stupid is relatable.
When I think of Pikachu, I think of Red. I think of Red.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I mean, that's
Red's the real best trainer.
Well, that's my opinion.
Red's actually was the champion until Gold overthrew him, and then he became champion again later until the Black Series.
How hyped do you think people are for the Sword and Shield Nintendo Switch game that's going to come out in November?
Very mixed.
Very mixed. Okay, so that's what I was expecting.
People are very upset about it, and people are very excited for it.
My roommate who pre-ordered it, she is so excited. She talks about it all the time.
I can tell you we have not seen the response that we thought we were going to for pre-orders.
The reason why I say that is because the people of Reddit said the same thing. And Reddit is mostly right about most things.
No, I would not say that. I left Reddit a long time ago.
Oh, I'm still on, man. Oh, it's still popping. Don't worry.
I'm sure.
I have lots of. We'll do the Ronald Reagan thing, and I'll just shut up.
I have a bone to pick with you later. Speaking of that,
Really?
Yes. But it has something to do with your geek recommendation, which we'll get into later.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes! I forgot that line was in that episode. Yes, Ronald Reagan is the devil. 666.
We'll move on. We're moving on to Pokemon Go. This one's for you, Eli. You're gone. We miss you.
Yeah.
He's not dead, by the way. He's just sick.
Oh, I was not informed.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I thought you said we could only miss the show if we were dead. No, so Pokemon Go is getting 5th generation Pokemon. Speaking of Black and White, that's a good segue. Speaking of Black and White, Pokemon Go is getting their 5th generation Pokemon in the Unova generation, Gen 5. They're getting that released to Pokemon Go.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still a sucker for like classic Indigo League type Pokemon, but
Original 151, huh?
Yes.
You are a Gen 1er. I never expected that.
Yeah, I talk about it all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the first 3. 4 is where it starts really dropping off for me. Yeah, I like Heart Gold because it's a 4th gen game that gives me a Gen 2 experience, and it's just got like all of it packed into one. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. Will, have you ever played Pokemon Go? I don't remember if we ever talked about that.
Oh, like 4 years ago, and I didn't even know it was still a thing. Like now,
Yeah.
I mean, like I like occasionally there's always that one dude who like gets into his thing, and I don't know. Like I think that it's still. I think that people are like still into it and stuff. But I remember when I was like in high school, I think it was like the game of the summer of like 2015, 2016.
It was 2016. I remember very well.
Okay. I had it. I just didn't get into it because I'm not Pokemon.
Yeah. Pokemon Go has been very interesting. Like I still see people going out on raids. My roommates go.
Yeah.
Sarah, Mallory, Dante on occasion.
My friends go on raids and stuff and do community days.
Yeah. I still have the app. I don't open it as often as I should, but I need to because I need to evolve at least one of my Vulpixes. But that's pretty much it.
I actually started playing the new app. I started playing Pokemon Masters, and it's kind of aimed at a younger audience. I think it's real easy and like skimmed down from what a Pokemon game is, but it's also kind of fun. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Speaking of something fun,
oh good,
some My Hero Academia news. In the manga, they have released a Prince-inspired pro hero. So that's pretty much it.
I'm behind on the manga, so this is news for me as well.
Well, spoiler alert for you then, buddy. We're getting
I saw a news story about it.
Yeah, which I think is fun. They obviously draw a lot from different real life experiences and people. We had Miro being based off of 1010, who, even though he's not a real person, it's like just a cool like little fun fact. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, Deku's based off Peter Parker.
I'm not surprised whatsoever. But yeah, that's just some fun My Hero news for you nerds out there.
Speaking of heroes,
go into some One Punch.
Yeah, One Punch Man is getting a fighting game, and I've been excited for this. It's called A Hero Nobody Knows. I've been excited for this since it was announced, and the big question on everybody's mind has been, how do you make a fighting game with a character in it who can beat anybody in one punch? And the answer is you build a team of 3 characters, and only one person can be Saitama, and they have to go last. And you go 3-on-3, and then when Saitama comes out, he basically like crushes anybody in his way. So the only counter is to have another Saitama. So like the point is, I guess, to like erode the time that it takes to bring Saitama out, like to shorten that. I'm a little confused on how the game mechanic works, but yeah, basically like. It's a fighting game, but it's also a race against time where you're strategically trying to see when the other team is going to bring out their Saitama.
Okay.
And do exciting 3 versus 3 battles.
Yes.
No definitive release date has been given, but I'm really excited because One Punch Man is something that I'm just now getting into as far as the TV show goes. But I have yet to go on everything else with the series. So
I very much like that show. This last season was fantastic.
I need to like force myself to sit down and watch it. I have been procrastinating on doing that. Going along, you wanted to bring up loot boxes. Once again, we have some more information?
Yeah, so the loot box thing has been going on for a long time now, and we've reported on it a couple different times throughout the year. But so the UK basically closed their book on their investigation because the UK has a lot of other stuff that they're worrying about right now. But it's just one of those times where it's like, oh, it is good to be an American, just for a little bit. But so they've released basically the extent of their study, though. And so even though they haven't actually banned loot boxes and haven't really done anything besides talked about it and then laid it aside, the results of their paper have come out, and it is damning. There are some real, like, it's all lawyer speak, but there are some real scathing little comments in there where they're like, oh, we talked to RuneScape, and they say, like, oh, the cap is like you can only spend $4,000 a month or whatever, and we don't really care if they do it, which rarely happens. And so they're basically saying, like, it's really terrifying how immersive and coercive these games are into giving you money, and how much the developers have no idea who's giving them the money or what their habits are or what effect they're having on these people. Like, they're just basically kind of chastise the whole industry for being irresponsible and then lying to their faces about it in Parliament. And then, once again, EA has had a very lackluster response to being called out by the UK Parliament.
Yeah, Will, you were about to say something?
So Belgium, like, banned the loot boxes? Is that what? Because there's this big article right now where it's like, what
well, that's not
happened
the
when
UK.
Belgium banned them? Well, yeah, but that's like the first of it, right? Because
No,
then
they're not
there's
the
another
first-
article
they're-
here.
That's
It's
not
like,
the first. They're not the first people. To ban them.
okay.
The Scandinavian countries, I think, I think there's already one or two countries that have ruled that they can't have them. They have to. Game companies are actually starting to release different versions of the game for different territories because they can't release loot boxes in certain countries.
That's so.
And
weird.
I believe you are correct. They did ban them in Belgium, I think.
Well, then, like, the Church of England said something about loot boxes, too. And then somebody posted a video on YouTube. It says, like, I think the tagline was, Jesus hates loot boxes or something. And I was
What?
like, I'm not sure what that is.
EA keeps insisting that there is no gambling imagery in
okay,
2K,
that's what it's
which
about.
is rated for, like, 6-year-olds and older in the EU for PEGI rating. They keep insisting there is no gambling imagery in it. There is a slot machine. That's what it is. It's a slot machine to get your players and stuff. And they're like, no, 6-year-olds could play this. It's not gambling. It's like, it's real money with a slot machine.
But see, that's where they get you, though, is like, yes, it is a controversy because slot machines are, in fact, a symbol of gambling and stuff. Which, I mean, in all fairness, I think that is probably a good argument, but
Yeah.
maybe not to loot box. I don't know. That's a complicated thing that I don't know much about.
And now Fallout 76 has... They're selling DLC that is features for the game, even though they said they were going to stick with cosmetics. And some of those features are stuff that used to be in the game and got patched out.
Wow.
That was in it at launch, and now you have to pay $5 or whatever to unlock. So games are just getting expensive to play anymore.
Yeah, they are. Speaking of expensive and mistakes, M. Night Shyamalan is directing more movies.
You said a mistake.
I still have issues with M. Night and some of his films.
What kind of issues do you have with M. Night Shyamalan?
Avatar: Last Airbender.
Okay, I'll give you that. But
Also, I could not get into like
Signs
Split
much?
and stuff.
what's that?
Signs?
I don't know, because I'm also split on the Shyamalan universe, I guess. I
You're
did like.
split.
Here's the thing. I think that it is now just a certain demographic of you go to a movie now to watch it and not necessarily care about what this particular director has really done in the past. I think that he's made like a lot of mistakes with his directing career, but there's a lot of like cool things I think that he is trying to do, and it's obviously successful because let's face it, I believe that Glass, Split, and The Visit were like all three pretty good commercially good, well-received, to an extent, films that were a lot better than particularly The Last Airbender or Signs. I'd probably give you that one, too.
I'm sorry. That's a really controversial opinion, and I'm going to get lynched for it, but Signs is not a good movie.
Yeah, no, I'd probably agree with you, because Mel Gibson, like, freaks out at his kid at the dinner table, which is a funny scene, yes, but it's also a bit cringe.
Here's my opinion on M. Night Shyamalan. At this point, he has proved his modern reputation to the point that all of his films have to star Nicolas Cage. End of story. M. Night Shyamalan can keep making movies, and they can keep being in theaters. They all have to star Nicolas Cage. And he has to write them knowing that.
Well, let me talk to you about
That's my deal, Hollywood.
There is news, though, that he is creating 2 new movies, one which will be released in February of 2021, and the next being February of 2023, which is a very long way, and there's no doubt in my mind that he's probably not going to have a lot of writers with him, because these are going to be 2 original Shyamalan films, probably linked together, probably follow the same stories, and probably follow the same suspense factor that we all know about his directorial style. It's probably going to have a lot of twists and stuff like that. I don't know the genre, but yes, The Seventh Sense will be in theaters in 2021, and The Eighth Sense will be in 2023. So that's assumed to be like the 2 films that he's coming out with, i.e. sequels to The Sixth Sense.
I don't care for that.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how to feel about that. I'm going to give him the benefit of a doubt, though, and say that this is something that he probably knows what he's doing, hopefully, but I don't know, maybe we'll just have to see. One thing that I will point out, though, is that if the Seventh Sense or whatever does not work out for him, they probably won't be doing The Eighth Sense if it's not commercially or critically successful.
Probably.
Just saying. I don't think that they would. Most studios don't care, but
yeah, that would make sense.
In this case, maybe they're looking out for him.
You win that. You win that. I'll give you that.
Shyamalan.
Yeah.
2 new movies.
Did you
Great.
see the guy who made Mr. Robot is rebooting Battlestar Galactica?
Yes, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I watched Mr. Robot like a couple times last year. It's got Rami Malek, a guy who played Freddie Mercury in Queen. He stars in this role, and he's great. And I'm pretty sure that this would be like a cool... Because I would consider them both sci-fi to an extent, you know, depending on how you look at it. But I think Battlestar Galactica probably falls into that same market space as Mr. Robot with all the technology and like coolness, and techno thriller is probably like the right word for it. Sam Esmail?
Yeah.
I hope I'm saying that right. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think he based Mr. Robot off a different story about a guy in real life. So obviously Battlestar Galactica will not be in real life. But
What?
No.
Battlestar Galactica is not real life. I am shocked, confused, hurt, maybe a little hungry.
You're always a little hungry.
a little hungry.
Yeah, that's because I don't eat much, guys. I'm on the go.
Ask me how many times I've eaten this week.
I'm not going to.
Twice. I ate dinner on Sunday and dinner on Wednesday.
I
That's
gotta
not
get you
okay.
some food.
That is not okay,
I'm
buddy.
very busy.
And speaking of things that are not okay, some SNL stuff has happened. So this guy was not on SNL. They hired him, but before he could like go on the show, he got fired for some old tweets.
For comments he made on a podcast.
Okay. I'm so used to it being tweets at this point.
It's Shane Gillis.
Yes. He made, I believe it was either racist or homophobic comments.
Both. Yeah. You
like,
tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. You're like, maybe it was one thing.
It was about his like Asian counterpart that was going to be on the show with him, and then probably like another couple stuff in there. So yeah, sometimes it happens because I know Chris Rock got in trouble for calling out In Living Color back in like 1993, 1994. Yeah. Another thing with like my personal favorite, my celebrity crush, by the way, which I told you before the show, was Jenny Slate. Yes. And she got off the show because she said a bad word live, during an episode, and then she was outed. That was like 2009, probably like 10 years ago.
Poor girl.
Man, if Corbett can get like a graphic of Jenny Slate, just like her face on like Wikipedia or something, I'll just be like, yeah, that's my challenge.
Oh, man.
I feel weird about the purpose of this show now.
No. But then there was a couple others, and I think that it does happen. I just think that it's just another lesson on what you have to say, a lesson of what you should say, especially on
actions
podcasts
have
and social
consequences.
media.
This got really interesting, though, because presidential candidate Andrew Yang kind of stuck up for him a little bit and said he wanted to meet him. And also Yang is Asian, so that's an interesting person to have a take on that. It's kind of gotten to be bigger than just SNL at this point.
Yes. And going along with controversy to wrap things up, The Princess Bride. People have started like spraying
Why are
little
you
rumors.
Italian?
I don't know. Just
The Princess Bride.
A bit offensive for both of you,
Oh,
as
please.
I am.
wow.
Just saying.
We don't do it to discriminate against you, Will. We love you.
They keep me hostage on this show, guys. You don't see it, but they
Dirty
do.
marinara slurper.
Anyway, Princess
Stop.
Bride.
Stop. What's the controversy?
So,
Pasta twirler.
Oof.
Someone was saying that there's a possibility for a Princess Bride remake. And the internet, in good old-fashioned internet ways, got angry.
Yeah.
Because the Princess Bride should not be messed with.
remade. Yeah.
Do not touch the Princess Bride.
I'm sorry, I'm not usually this guy, but good Lord, don't touch that. You already did The Lion King. What more do you want?
Also, Jamie Lee Curtis and Carrie Elwes have both come out and said, do not remake this film. So if you
They're
have...
going to do it. I give it 5 years, they'll do it.
If you have the star of the show saying, do not touch this, do not mess with the perfection that is the Princess Bride, you do not mess with the Princess Bride. Like, it's simple as that.
Celebrities on Twitter even called him out, where it's like Jamie Lee Curtis is like, I don't support this at all. There's only one Princess Bride. And then somebody commented on Twitter where it's like they tagged Seth Rogen and they were like, hey, this guy kind of looks like you. And he's like, I wouldn't dare.
Yeah.
People are super protective about this particular film, and I kind of dig it.
I'm surprised Seth Rogen responded to a "this guy kind of looks like you" tweet, because he gets those a million times a day.
Yeah. Well, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're actually going to play you guys an audio clip of an interview that we did with Gordon Bellamy, who helped with the production of the Madden games. We got to sit down with him yesterday, and it was a lot of fun. And as always,
you nerd it here first.